Well, that Atarax should help, Dad. We were talking a while ago about bee sting.
Were you?
Here, you need to wipe your nose.
Where'd you get stung?
Nobody.
I was telling him that you got stung.
When I was little.
Well, he also in the car. Remember?
No.
When you were in practice, the bee came in the, you had your windows open in the car. The bee
I
came,
remember that.
you don't. I do. It wasn't terribly, nothing like when you were,
When I was a child, I just was petrified of bees because they stung me so bad.
you ran into a bee nest in a fence where a bee, a child. What'd your dad do? Did he take you to the doctor?
I think so.
Just watch the whole strip.
I know this, I was unconscious for 24 hours.
Yeah.
You were unconscious for 24 hours after you were stung? How many times do you suppose you were stung?
Oh, repeatedly. It was awful.
You really remember it?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Oof.
Remember the pain.
He had to be probably between 3 and 4 because after 4 they moved into town.
Mm-hmm.
He moved in with his grandmother, so this is why he was out on the farm. Right?
Yeah. I know Grandma Jerry. They had me down at the big house working on me. They had the doctor I know. That was 7 miles from town.
Hmm.
Baby man. Oh, what did I tell you?
Baking soda?
What?
Baking soda?
No, something stronger than that. Or something different.
I don't know what it would have been.
You know, I don't either. Maybe it was.
I know that was a remedy used for a long time, baking soda paste. For these things.
My grandmother Jarrett was a kind of a, I don't think she was a trained nurse, but she was a very practical nurse. His father had been a doctor.
Isn't that phone?
She rode with him.
I just wondered, we had had the phone out here before.
What, honey?
We had had the phone outside before.
You remember my grandfather Alexander? Of course not.
When did your grandfather Alexander die?
Probably about the time I started school.
Well, if you're talking about first grade, then
He was an old man when I remember.
He probably seemed like an old man. That's a funny thing, you know, about our perspective.
isn't it the truth?
Well, Uncle Charlie was 10 years older than Grandma. I think my grandfather Alexander must have been 35 when I was born. No, when my grandmother was married. I wasn't born, I was wed. But I wasn't the first child. Or she wasn't the first child.
You hope not.
No, I saw her by his death. What's that?
What do you think that is?
Well, I can't tell. Look. Stew?
Look at it again.
I don't know. What is it?
Well, let's get Lon and look at it.
put your dirty tissues in it, Dad.
I did.
You would. If you had a dirty tissue, you would put it in there. What would it be?
Waste basket.
Yep. Do you remember when you had your first telephone, Dad?
In the country?
The first telephone in the house that you lived in?
I had one when I remember.
Really?
You remember your first telephone number?
Well, town was 214, but I wasn't the right one in the country. I don't know what it was.
My first telephone number was Cornelia 77730 when I was a kid.
Boy, Mitch Francis.
Honey, just rub it. I gave you some Atarax, so that should help.
You wanna slide over to this or you're all some a little bit?
Oh, this is fine. What is that?
That's a Band-Aid, Dad, over a place that you scratched. You were bleeding.
Somewhere along the line, we had 154 ring 3.
That was at home in Byron.
Yeah, it was our first telephone.
Oh, yeah. And I don't remember what it was. Or at home or.
Well, the next phone that we had, my mother still has, so it's pretty easy to remember. It used to be area 708, and now it's area 630, and it's 766-4069. I'm sorry, 4378. My grandmother's, from the time that I was a little boy until the day she died, was 766-4069. That's why I always remember that.
Are you the oldest child, Von?
No, I have an older brother.
Do you? How much?
He is 2 years older than me. Seems like 20.
What does he do?
He's a real estate appraiser. He has his own business too.
Where does he live?
In Crystal Lake, Illinois.
I paid him a check.
Like what, Dad?
Right here, this gravy version. Already kind. What is it? What do you think it is? Maybe.
Just a passing pain.
When you were stung by those bees, do you have any concept of how many there were? I mean, you were between 3 or 4 years old, so it's not likely that you would recall that. But were there really a lot, or?
Must have been for that collapse.
Oh, honey. It's time.
But you got it. Have a place to sit.
I'll be fine.
They bathed me in. The doctor was there. They bathed me in soda and I don't know what all.
Gotta point the toe up.
What?
I'm just helping Mom with a part of her therapy. She's supposed to put her foot up for gravity to take the knee and point the toe to the ceiling.
And she's very excited and pleased by it.
Oh yeah, you can see it on her face.
Great fun.
Oh, you so.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about that. You gonna get a pillow? I thought that's what you went in for. I knew you were going in for a chair with it.
But thank you.
Can you move it a little closer to me? Fall
Well,
off.
let's not lose you.
Yeah, this wouldn't be a good time for me to be injured
What's that?
Well, if
if I fell off the porch.
I don't want her to fall off the porch.
if Dad gets upset with her, and then you can just tell me, and I can give her a little shove, and
Yeah.
Off I'll go.
It's awful hard to get upset with her.
I'm glad of that, Dad.
You know, it was, how many daughters do I have? 4?
Name them. Name them.
Start with the top, Dad.
Well, I have Susan, Ann. I guess Sally, then you, and then Elizabeth, is that right?
That's correct.
That's all 5 of them.
Did you ever catch a train, Dad,
Do what?
from Waverly?
Do
Was
what?
where was the closest train?
Wait, what was closest?
The train went right through Waverly, and
Springfield.
did it stop there and pick people up? And
I rode to Springfield on the train when I went up to get my tonsils out.
you did.
I remember.
How old were you when you got your tonsils out?
First grade.
I was 8 years old when I had mine out.
I don't remember missing school, so I have to assume I was under 6.
Or during the
Maybe
summer?
it was in the summer.
That could be too.
Great minds think alike, Mom. I said the same thing.
This-
And I still have mine, so I don't remember having mine out.
You know that? Oh, my God.
I was-
Couldn't afford it.
I was 6 or 7 years old when I got bit on the nose by a dog.
Is that right?
And because the bite was above the neck, they didn't wait for the test on the dog to come back. I had to get the shots.
Hmm.
But at that time, they were giving them in the butt rather than in the stomach.
Did he have it?
No, no. He did. He died a couple of weeks later, but something unrelated. But I still had to take the shots.
They didn't put him down in autopsy?
Maybe they did. Maybe they thought that's what they told me.
Maybe.
What is the matter with him? Winnie, what is the matter with him?
Well, where do you want me to start, Dad?
We'll start with this skin.
Well, you've got it all torn up from, partly from habit, partly from history of injury to it, partly because of your steroid use. It's kind of on the thin side. And you've got a habit of just looking for bumps and finding things that you could scratch and dig off, and that becomes a problem.
And your body is trying to heal itself, and as a natural part of the healing process, there is itching. So that makes it even worse.
You know that when a wound heals, it itches, right?
I wasn't aware of that, really.
Mom can tell you she had some pretty good itching at her incision line for a couple of days.
Did she? I didn't know that.
Other than that, Dad, I'm not sure.
You know, I remember one about my very early childhood right now, and I thought about for ages.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, we lived in a little house out of Grandpa Judge. I remember my mother taking me to milk.
I wish we had a recorder.
Taking you to milk?
At night.
Uh-huh.
I loved the cows from the time I can remember. My first love.
Well, remember that you could go and the milk gives you.
If I didn't wet my pants.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty early.
How they trained me.
That was pretty darn early. I'll bet.
Well, that depends.
I remember my father had a big red cow with a kicker. He was the only one who could milk it. I was milking with all the hands in those days.
Did you get to actually help with the milking at that time? When did
I
you
was just, oh.
when did you first get to start helping?
Well, I moved to town before I ever milked. But I wanted to.
How old were you when you moved? I think before 4.
What else do you remember, Dad?
Of my early days.
Uh-huh.
Well, I remember playing in the fence row out by the road in front of that little house where we lived, Grandma's little townhouse.
When you got into these?
Yeah. After my Grandpa Jared, I loved that man. He was so good to me.
Is that, the only time you were out playing in the fence row when you got stung, or did you do that a lot?
I did it all the time.
Did you? Did you do it after you got stung?
No, I don't know.
Ah. Mothers are just like that, aren't they?
They are. I'm Grandma Dirt one of that.
Dad, who were your earliest friends?
We had,
How old were you when you met him?
I can't remember when I didn't live.
Really?
Well, you didn't know him when you were out in the
Oh,
country.
no. Didn't know anybody then. Had no place.
So you had to be over 4.
Was he a neighbor?
Yeah.
Where did they live?
The block east of my grandmother where we lived.
Mom, would you take his hand?
Oh, God. Do you know where Edward's Garage is?
I could probably find it.
It's a block east. Where my grandmother used to live.
Okay.
Edward just lived across the street on the west side of the street there. The garage was on the east side. Doctor was a veterinarian and ran the garage too. Oh, God, Francis.
How long did you live in that house in town?
Until I went to college.
Oh, okay.
And my grandmother's house. My mother and my father separated, so I'm with my grandmother.
Your grandmother and your mother.
And Aunt Mildred.
And my sister.
When did you meet Uncle Howard?
Right down the honey?
Yep.
I guess when I started out high school.
High school?
He was a country kid, so you know, country school.
Uh-huh.
Came to work with the town school for high school.
I see. Did you become fast friends right away?
Pretty early. I liked him awful well.
He's a pretty nice guy, huh?
I think so.
I do too.
He had an older brother that was just off horse's ass. He was about twice as big as that. He got meaner than a skunk.
Hmm.
A lot of us have those.
What's that?
A lot of us have those.
Well, Mom didn't have an older brother, and my older brother wasn't meaner than a skunk. He's still not.
Robin wasn't into you, was he?
No.
Didn't pay much attention.
Well, he did for a... Yeah, he did. I was supposed to be his little brother.
Oh,
How much older is he than you?
5 years.
5 years.
To the month.
when was he born? I don't remember.
Well, think about it, Dad. When was Susan born?
He was born in January.
Of what year?
I don't remember.
Well, let's go back to your early life then. Now, you used to tell about how you were not real happy with your sister.
Oh, I was jealous of her.
You were jealous?
She usurped my prerogative.
Ah.
Oh, they gave her attention to her that I should have had.
Why was that?
Because she happened after she was born after my folks separated. She was in town, not in the country. And Miller just made over her.
Well, she probably enjoyed having a little girl around.
Yeah. I guess I was probably spoiled rotten.
Well, I know you are today.
You think?
Oh, yes.
Glad to know.
You are, huh?
I'm glad to know what you think I am.
Well, I've been witnessing it pretty up close and personal for about 6 weeks now.
And my sisters and brother will tell you that I'm spoiled too.
Are you the oldest child?
No. No, my brother is the oldest.
How many other siblings do you have?
I have one older brother and 2 younger sisters. How many did you have, Mom? Siblings? Just one? Just a brother?
Dad, don't look for
I
anything.
had one. Was in.
How many do you have, Lynn?
Well, I have one brother and 4 sisters.
Wow. I'm surprised that each of you only has one sibling, and yet you had 6 children.
I don't think there was any doubt about it that we determined when we were first married that we wanted a bigger family than either one of us came from. Maybe not as big as we had, but
Well, we didn't have a real effective contraceptive, and I think our folks both did. Abstinence.
and my folks and his mother all decided that 2 was enough.
Well, that was decided for my mother. We were separated.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
but
if your
she-
parents,
but she decided for us, I mean,
if your parents wanted you to only have 2, that was enough reason to have 6.
yeah.
Yeah, we have the scathing letters from your mother,
My mother?
at the time that I was born.
Oh,
Was it when you were born or when Sally was born?
Oh, I'm sure there was one when Sally was born too.
what did they say when you were born?
You know, I'd have to find the letter to tell you exactly, but it wasn't the sort of letter that you write to people who've just welcomed a new baby into the family.
What?
Well,
She was disappointed, she was angry, she was upset, and she wanted you to figure out how to not make that happen again.
Well, I knew how to avoid it. Staying. She wouldn't let me. Birth control was awfully hard around her. We tried.
Oh,
Remember your
you're
tea?
you're a stitch.
Do you?
Huh?
Do you remember your diaphragm?
Oh, yes, I remember.
You've made her blush, Dad.
On the itch.
Dad, don't scratch it. Just rub it, please. Who was your first teacher, Dad?
What was that?
Who was your first teacher?
Miss Hamilton? Miss Laura Hamilton. She retired a year or 2 after I was in first grade. An older lady at the time. My second grade teacher was a lady who was partially paralyzed.
What was the cause of that, do you know?
Miss Turner, Miss Turner.
Uh-huh.
I remember my first grade teacher, and she was unique in that she was married.
Oh.
And at that time,
Didn't happen.
and this is right, this is right. And I don't know how it happened, because I don't think she was teaching before she got married. So either they were desperate for a first grade teacher or something. I have no idea what circumstances were.
Uh-huh.
But they did not look kindly on married women for teachers. Oh, that went on for a long time, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Why was that, do you think?
Well, it takes jobs.
Yeah, it was during the Depression mainly, when jobs were pretty hard to get.
Uh-huh.
And a young girl coming out of college needed a job. And supposedly a married woman did not because she
Had another
a
source
wage
of,
earner.
she already had a job.
But, so how Mrs. Wright got a job, I really don't know. For one thing, I guess maybe she was a widow. But I don't remember anything about a husband. But then I had another married teacher too. I don't know. But Miss Williams was an old maid. I may have shown you her house up near Oregon. She owned a farm up there.
Uh-huh.
She was a venerable old gal,
Was she a good teacher?
I suppose.
Me?
Hmm?
Was she strict?
Yeah, pretty strict. Pretty much she was a real old maid. She dressed like an old maid and
How was that?
pretty plain.
What about your teachers, Dad?
About who?
Your teachers, did they dress like old maids, or were they strict with you?
Yeah.
Were you responsive to that strictness? I mean, did that,
Scared to death of her.
were you?
That's what I remember of teachers when I was young.
And were you afraid of them?
We had one teacher in third grade who, if we were quiet enough long enough, would fall asleep at her desk. And then we could do anything and she wouldn't wake up. And once we learned that, we took advantage of it, even in third grade. And I found out later, probably after I was in high school, that she had a sister who was terminally ill, who she was caring. She was the sole caregiver for. So the only time she slept was in school. And then I kind of felt bad about taking advantage of it.
But she needed her sleep.
And she got it.
The children don't take those things.
Josh was a big, just a huge man, about 6'4" or 5", and he was one-eyed.
Do you know why?
He got an eye put out in the farm act.
Did he?
The boy.
Uh-huh.
Louis Clinton Gosling. Do you
What?
remember Gotch?
Now, how would I remember?
I thought you might have met him. He was around.
You know, was running around when I was, I only knew you after you were in college.
I don't know where Gotch was by then.
Ask some questions. Ask
Oh,
them
he was
about-
huge.
How huge is huge? I mean, was he a tall man, a big man, or
Big, just a bowl, man. It seemed to me like his head was as big as a wiffle basket.
But that's because you were a just a
I
little
was a
child.
step bigger. He was huge. And he had such a delicate handwriting. I know. From little my course books, Gotch had probably as good a penmanship as any teacher I ever had.
Well, that's one thing that all of my teachers failed at was penmanship.
Is that right?
My handwriting is terrible.
We learned, you obviously didn't learn our method.
Obviously not. I changed schools a couple of times during those early years, so it was whatever was current with the teachers that I
During
had.
what years?
I changed schools in first grade, third grade, and fifth grade. How many elementary schools did you attend? Just one?
One.
Just one. And high school the same way? How about you, Mom? Just one?
Not the same school we went to, but obviously.
I wondered about the pluses of going through school with one group of kids. You know, where you have a few come in, a few go out, but essentially you're with the same group.
I don't think there were too many negatives about it really, because the class I was in had some pretty good students in it. There was good competition, which sponsors good learning really, because we were always competing.
Well, everybody, how many people did you graduate from high school with?
Oh, heavens, almost all of them.
Oh, good. Ashland was a wealthy town.
Yeah. Ashland was a wealthy
Rural
town.
community.
Yeah, why don't you have him move over so you've got some room there?
I'm fine. But thank you. So why was Ashland considered a wealthy town?
Because it was a town of retired farmers primarily.
Which then meant money, huh?
Absolutely.
And today it doesn't necessarily mean money.
No, my grandfather, for instance, had owned his farm and had
Well,
built,
look at the houses in Ashland.
Oh, yes.
yeah, the old part of Ashton is made up of big homes. My grandfather's house was a big house.
A lot of them were divided in later into apartments.
Yeah, but not while I was young.
Now, in your first homes, did you have large rooms?
Have what?
Large
when we
rooms?
Were, when we were little, you mean?
Ours in town we did. We had an 8-room house and it was a huge house.
I've noticed that in a lot of the old homes I've been in, that they seem to want to put more rooms in, but
Had bigger
tiny
families,
rooms.
for one thing, Bob.
Yeah, but the rooms were tiny, and very few closets.
Well, closets were not a matter of...
Dad,
Oh, hitch, honey.
I just need you to be not doing that.
My first home was out in the country.
And it was kind of choppy. A little bit. Well, maybe it had been remodeled a lot.
Now, well, I don't know whether it has been or not, but
No, I mean had when I saw it the first time.
when I lived there, we had I can't think of anything except the big parlor where we had the Christmas tree and closed it off all the time.
Was that on the west side?
You know, on the west side.
Okay. And if you went in through the back, through the kitchen, went into the kitchen, which was a fairly good size but not a huge kitchen, and then from there into the dining room, and then there was another room off on the east side of the house.
That was a bedroom.
I thought so. That's
where
where
I
you were
was
born. I didn't know whether it was always a bedroom.
Yeah, a little room. Just a little room.
Mm-hmm.
That was off the dining room, and then actually probably the dining room and the living room were essentially the same. I don't know.
It seems to me, although I'm not real firm on this, when I was in the house, it happened on a day when we didn't expect it, and I didn't have my camera.
Yeah.
So I have no inside pictures of it from recent years.
You still own that house?
No. No.
Did you sell the farm?
Yeah, we did.
Who bought it? Wemple? Wemples?
No. Uncles were in your hometown, not mine.
Dad, what room was yours in the house in town?
The middle room in front on the south.
Middle room,
upstairs.
upstairs.
You didn't have a room, you
That was Aunt Miller's room. I stayed with her till I went out in the big hall. That was made my bedroom when I reached puberty.
Was the bathroom there upstairs, or when did that get put in?
Oh, God. It was downstairs, wasn't
Well, there was a bathroom in my youth. There was a bathroom downstairs
Yeah.
and a bathroom upstairs.
Yeah, one upstairs was much later,
Okay, so that was all part of the big hallway?
yeah. If that,
it? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When you got to the top of the stairs, which were the steepest stairs I've ever had to take in a house.
Deepest and darkest.
Absolutely. You emerged, you took a left and a couple more steps and emerged into this huge open space.
Into what?
This huge open space. And when I was growing up, there was a bathroom.
right ahead of
That was my
yours.
bedroom when I was a youth.
But there was no bathroom there, and there was no wall where the bathroom was. And then there were 3 other bedrooms.
Nana's was in the front,
Where Aunt Mildred later, Dad, don't do that, honey, you'll
Aunt
scratch it
Mildred's was
open.
in the middle, and,
On the south side.
and then Fran and her mother,
Mine was on the west side.
And Nana's bedroom was what Aunt Mildred then had all of her, beauty parlor stuff in.
oh, that,
No, not that she ran it from there, but that she had it stored there when I was a little girl, cause she hadn't been a beautician for,
oh, is that right? I
a long
remember-
time.
Didn't remember where she had got stored away.
she was running the store. I mean, she had the store at that time. What year was that did she buy it, or was it,
Took it over from Uncle Rob on that photo purchase.
Yeah, she bought it. She had worked for him,
She hadn't worked for him, Mama had.
that's right, that's right.
so Aunt Mildred worked as a beautician up until that time?
She started out when I was a very small child. She was a professional milliner.
Oh, that's right.
She made hats.
Uh-huh. Now, do you remember her being particularly artistic?
Being what?
Particularly
Well,
artistic?
she thought she was. I don't know whether she was or not.
Did she paint for you?
No,
She painted some pictures, honey,
but not for me.
no.
She did.
Is any of her handiwork preserved, either hats or paintings?
Oh, I'm sure there are. But where, I don't know about them. My sister probably can tell you.
Well, I have a watercolor that is hers.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
what was it of?
It's a woman in a hat
Did you get it?
in a position of some repose. I'll go get it.
No, bring it out.
Oh, yeah. I'll show it to you inside where it's not so humid.
It's old enough that we need to worry about those things. But it is a very good, based on this painting, she was a talented lady.
Well, then she was a hairdresser for a long time.
Her first job, Wake Mom, was as a milliner.
Yeah, I know.
She made hats.
Where did she do that?
The Star Store.
The Star store in downtown Waverly?
The Star Store was right around the corner, you know where it was?
On the
No.
south side of the square.
You know, if here's Waverly Variety,
Uh-huh.
and the intersection was here, and you went across it, and over here was the Star Store. And it was a general merchandise store. Well, not really, it was dry goods.
Uh-huh.
Dry goods primarily.
She had the upstairs, I remember. There was a rug department and a bunch of stuff like that. But well, it ended up being a beauty parlor. It was, when I was first remembered, was millinery.
Did she continue to make hats after she became a beautician?
By that time, hats homemade were pretty much passé.
Did she wear a lot of hats? I know she was rather a flamboyant woman in her dress.
She almost always wore a hat.
Isn't it strange that today custom-made hats are a big part of the fashion industry again?
Is that right?
Not so much for ordinary people, but for the stars and for the royal houses in Europe and things.
Dad,
Oh, if it's so,
let me get something for you to put on it.
what are you gonna put on?
Oh, maybe some Caladril would help today.
That might be good.
We won't say anything important until you get back.
It'll be on tape, so that's okay.
We'll save it.
Excuse me. I think you need to look up at the nest and look at the progress.
I have looked up at it. Now, when we came out here and sat on the porch, that wasp nest was about half the length of the first one,
Yeah.
and now they're almost equal.
Yeah.
Without you, the conversation just stopped.
Well, I said they wouldn't say anything important without me.
You put it on my upper arm?
I'll put it right there and you rub it in. There you go.
Put it on your hand, or
Your jeans are going in the wash tonight, so if you need to wipe it off, you can. Now tell me again about your first job, Dad.
My first job?
Yeah.
Where?
Your very first job where you got paid.
God, I don't
was
know.
it your paper boy? Paper
I suppose it was.
paper delivery?
Did you get paid for doing any chores on the farm?
Bob, I wasn't on the farm
Oh, that's right, you were.
long enough.
Too young.
See, I was only 7 or 6 when I left. No, 5 when I left the farm.
You were younger than that.
About 4.
Yeah. I think you were barely 4 by my figures.
I had paper out. Started out with 55 papers and ended up with over 100. In fact, I think they divided it after I left.
You remember why you were talked into having a paper route?
They appealed to me. The Illinois State Register looked for me.
Yeah.
I had a reputation. Good salesman.
Remember your mother and your aunt and your grandmother wanted you to have a paper route? Why?
Why?
They didn't want you to play football.
Oh, that's right.
You had to deliver it. This was an afternoon delivery, so.
Dad, do you remember about the forest preserve in Byron?
Yeah.
How did you get that started?
I did my
You
grandkids.
were,
It was a spring off growth of funds coming from the nuclear plant.
Uh-huh. And you just saw the availability and,
I was appealed to, and I joined the group, but they ended up making me president. I was president of it as long as I was on.
uh-huh.
And we hired Jack right away. It was an interesting experience.
Uh-huh. It was a good thing, Dad. It's a beautiful place.
You think?
You did a wonderful thing for, especially for the youth of the community.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yes.
Very few small towns that have that kind of
You know, DeKalb,
facility.
DeKalb County has one nature center, and it's about the size of our house, our side, and it's got very little to offer.
Well, they didn't have a source of funds like we did.
But they only have one facility like that in all of DeKalb County.
Oh, the university surely's got more than that. That's in some
Not
way.
DeKalb County. Not, I mean, what the university has is over at, Laredo Taft campus.
Really, they don't have any
In DeKalb?
local at all?
Not nature, no.
What's in the nature center over the other one? What's in that?
In DeKalb County?
No. Well, yeah, or wherever the other one is.
Well, it's at Laredo Taft. You know
Laredo
where that
Taft is their outdoor education center. It's really not a nature center.
Where is it?
Laredo Taft, you know, that's up Oregon where the statue is.
Loudon State Park.
Black Hawk, so-called, AKA Black Hawk. Not Black Hawk at all. All the perfectionists have just gotten busy and made sure we know that is not Black Hawk.
Who is it?
It's an Indian, and that's all they will concede.
And we aren't terribly worried about it.
No, it doesn't bother me particularly. It's a beautiful statue. My grandfather remembers going down in the steps that opened up in the back of it, and then going up steps and looking out through the eyes. Now, of course, that's been closed many, many years. But somebody said, oh, that never happened. I said, you gonna call my grandfather a liar? No way.
Schaefer didn't lie.
No.
Well, that's good.
Do you suppose he ever told a lie in his life?
I don't know. I have no
I
idea.
exaggerated.
He wasn't much of a talker, period.
Schaefer was quite a guy.
Hard to tell a lie if you're keeping your mouth shut, huh?
Mhm. Now, Grandpa Jennings, that was another matter. He was a jolly old boy.
He was.
Oh, and could he sing?
He sang.
He had a high tenor voice.
Your father did.
My grandfather did, too.
Oh, good on. Never heard that till today. See? Things that come out.
Isn't that wonderful? Sharing history.
So much to learn.
What did he sing? My Wild Irish Gold.
He sang Irish songs, that's true. And Grandma Jennings had a beautiful contralto voice.
She'd been in the opera, hadn't she?
You know, a cousin of hers had been.
Who?
A cousin of hers was in the Chicago Opera Company way back during the Depression. And I can't even remember her name. I never knew her.
Oh, it's Francis. It's Byrne.
Actually, the musical talent filtered right down. Now, Aunt Zetta and Aunt Mary and Uncle Wheeler sang. But the ladies, as far as I know, never sang.
They weren't talented.
But my grandfather had a very pretty voice. And grandmother Jennings,
She'd been in opera, hadn't she?
no dear, was her cousin.
Oh,
You're kind of sweaty.
Aunt Lucille then had a very pretty voice. Uncle Harold couldn't carry a note. But,
but he wasn't your relative, blood relative.
no, he was married to Aunt Lucille.
Whereas you didn't used to be able to carry a tune in a bucket, Dad.
I can't still.
You have demonstrated, and we've even got some of it captured on tape, that you can make the song known.
I did what?
You can make us understand what the song is, and you didn't used to be able to do that too well.
I didn't know that.
But when you get to singing, I'd like to hear the one about the blue salve again.
About what?
The blue salve.
What?
The blue ointment.
Blue ointment.
Blue on that old blue ointment is a crab to disappointment. We're going 3 or 4 times a day. Oh, it burns in our ditches. Or they kill those sons of bitches. In the good old-fashioned way. Is that the one?
That's the one. See, you can sing.
What?
You can sing.
What did I change?
You
Oh,
can
did?
sing.
I said you can sing.
Oh,
We know right away that that's to the tune of Put on Your Old Gray Bonnet.
do you?
Yeah. Dad, is there anything special that you'd like for supper?
Yeah, I'd like some gizzard, chicken gizzard.
We
Have
had-
you,
we
have
had
you,
those for
when's the
lunch.
last time you had those?
I don't know.
Kinda got a taste for them, huh?
Not lately.
Had them for lunch today and finished up about 2.5 hours ago, Dad.
Chicken wings?
Chicken gizzards.
We did.
I fried them up for you myself. But they were not from frying chickens, they were adults.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I don't.
I'll tell you what, you can have peanut butter sandwiches for every meal.
Yeah, you won't remember anyway.
You had sweet corn,
It's noon.
I did.
and wax beans,
Oh my God.
And cut up fruit, peaches and plums and cherries.
What else, Bert?
and chicken gizzards, lots of them.
Did I eat them all?
No, there are, I think, 4 left. Do you need a snack right now?
No, not really.
That doesn't surprise me. You ate fairly well at lunch.
I think you ate 2.5 ears of corn, which I was really pleased about because I bought the corn
I didn't realize
and I
that.
cooked it.
It was cut.
It was cooked on the grill. In the husk.
In the house?
In the husk. And then he shucked it nice and clean. He does a good job with that.
Who soaked it?
Bob did.
Good. Bob, you did a good job.
Then you had strawberry
Thank you.
cream cheese pie for dessert.
Have what?
Strawberry cream cheese pie.
Strawberry
Strawberry
pie.
cream cheese pie.
cream cheese.
It's a recipe that Lynn sent us.
I never heard of it.
Well, you ate it this noon.
Was it good?
You're gonna have it again for supper since you don't remember.
Since I didn't eat it all.
No, you won't have any leftover. We'll cut into a brand new one.
Well, if we need to fix that meal all over again, I need to go get some corn.
Yeah, we have to get that over to Farmer Fleet before they close because we've got to get some suet for our feeder. And they close early on Saturday.
Well, they do.
Yep.
Are you going to carry out your other things?
Maybe when it cools off.
You can go between.
Hmm?
You can go between, that would feel better.
What are you doing, Burr?
Looking at you through the camera, Dad.
How do I look?
Stunning.
Fat?
No.
Same as your
Fat.
Dad, do you think you're fat? Where?
I was born fat.
I wish I was as fat as you are.
I'm glad you're not that fat, because that's not enough fat. Do you know how much you weigh? What would you guess?
140.
About 140 pounds. Do you remember what your top weight was? What was it?
220.
Yeah. And you still think you're fat?
More like 230, I think.
When?
Oh, I don't know, I can't date it. But when you were at your top, whenever that was.
My top weight was 224 pounds
Really?
when I was 5 feet 1 inch tall.
Wow.
You know,
That's a lot of weight for 5 foot
44-inch waist.
Oh.
I think somewhere I still have my belt.
A biggie anyway.
Floor to ceiling.
I'd like something to eat or to drink or something.
This is nice.
Chicken gizzards and sweet corn.
There is no sweet corn left. He ate it all.
Well, we're really happy that you enjoyed that lunch so much.
What do we have?
We had chicken gizzards and corn on the cob
Yeah.
and fruit salad.
Fruit salad without the salad dressing, so
Without
that's
salad
good.
dressing, it's true. And then strawberry cream cheese pie for dessert. Then we had some leftovers too. I think Mom had some leftover chicken and leftover veggies. I had leftover veggies.
Itches, burns.
I know, we've heard that before. We say it every few minutes. We know it.
Burns and itches.
You need some of that old blue ointment.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, the way you said that, it reminds me of the song again.
She sings those kind of songs all the time.
I figured,
Don't you?
you better not talk about her or you'll have her blushing again.
You can have a clean Kleenex there.
That was quite a song, wasn't it?
Yep.
Where'd that come
We tried to get that answer out of you, but
from?
you just weren't giving it up.
It happened back in Waverly a long time ago, I guess.
Little in the old blue.
Yeah.
You grab the disappointment. Put it on 3 or 4 times a day. Oh, it burns and it itches with the chemicals. It itches in a good old fashioned way.
Well, Wayne, you missed the serenade.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What was it?
Wake
Well,
up,
you're-
bird.
Your dad was talking about how his arm burns and itches, and that, you know what subject that brought up.
I have some
Oh my goodness.
sweets for you, Dad.